Welcome back to another Knicks film session here on Sports Vibes TV. I'm your host Keith, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at Jericho Sims. Now, Jericho Sims was a late second round pick for our New York Knicks last season, and he really wasn't given an opportunity to show us what he can do until the second half of the season. So we're going to break down some film, see what areas he can help us moving forward, and also try and see if he could be a potential replacement or insurance option when it comes to Mitchell Robinson's unclear future. He's still not under contract past this season, and we really don't know where he could end up. So we're going to look at Jericho Sims and break down some of his game. But before I get into it, I want to give a shout out to BETUS.com for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for an online sportsbook, BETUS is running a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,500, and the link to that will be down in the description. So if you deposit $100, BETUS is going to give you $125 to go out there and make some bets. So make sure you check them out down in the description. And with that being said, let's jump right into today's video. The first play we're going to look at comes from the Knicks versus the Hornets down in Charlotte. We're going to see that the play starts with the ball in Immanuel Quickley's hands, and the Hornets don't do a great job setting up their defense. Harold is guarding Immanuel Quickley out there on the perimeter, and this is a mismatch. So I like to see what Immanuel Quickley does next. He starts to attack towards his right, and this does two things: forces Montrezl Harrell to stay in front of him and stay connected to Quick to not allow him to get to the basket. And it also allows Quick to now see how the defense is going to react once he attempts to make his move. So, as the play continues, you're going to see Jericho Sims now enter the picture. And what that does is, as Quick gives the ball up to Jericho Sims, it forces Cody Martin to kind of give a little bit of respect to Jericho Sims out there. We haven't seen Sims show any ability to knock down an outside shot, but still you want to have somebody in front of him so he can't take a few dribbles, get into the paint, and then, start to put things in motion offensively. We've seen Jericho Sims have a little bit of a handle to at least get from the three-point line into the paint. So Martin slides over the kind and, stop that. So Jericho Sims gives the ball up, and we see Immanuel Quickley kind of direct traffic. He tells Jericho Sims to cut, and we saw earlier in the play what the Hornets defenders were going to do if Quick made his move to the right. So we see the same exact thing. You see Montrezl Harrell and Cody Martin converge to try and stop Quick, and this puts Kelly Oubre in a bad position, because now Kelly Oubre, even though this isn't a pick and roll, it still is being defended like one. So you have Oubre trying to be in that position to tag Sims as he's rolling to the basket, but it leaves Obi Toppin wide open. And honestly, Kelly Oubre isn't really the type of defender that's going to be ideal in stopping a Jericho Sims and his athleticism at the rim. So as the play continues, you're going to see Immanuel Quickley put the ball up, and look how high Jericho Sims is able to sky to grab that ball and also throw down the dunk. And like I said, Kelly Oubre really is not in any type of position to stop it. And this is just some things I'm starting to see between Jericho Sims and Immanuel Quickley in their chemistry out there, especially in pick and rolls. If you look at the stats in pick and rolls where Quick was the ball handler and Jericho Sims was the screen setter, the New York Knicks averaged 1.17 team points per possession, and that was second highest on the team if you kind of filter out Derrick Rose, who wasn't available for a large portion of the season. So I want to see, moving into next season, Quick and Jericho Sims get some more time out there on the court together. And I think if Mitchell Robinson moves on, we could see that, with Quick potentially becoming a starting point guard and Jericho Sims maybe getting the option as the starting center if Mitch decides to leave. Here's another clip from the same game, and this play involves Jericho Sims and Evan Fournier. Now, previously, I mentioned the Knicks averaged 1.17 team points per possession when Immanuel Quickley and Jericho Sims worked the pick and roll. But what if I told you there wasn't much of a drop-off when Evan Fournier and Jericho Sims worked the pick and roll? Because in those instances, the Knicks averaged 1.16 team points per possession when Jericho Sims was setting screens for Evan. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at one of those plays just to see what's going on. The play starts with the ball in Evan Fournier's hands. You can see him use a Jericho Sims screen. And what the Hornets do, they're going to blitz the pick and roll. So you're going to see Plumlee step up and try to double team Evan Fournier. After Jericho Sims sets the screen, he's going to roll to the basket. And this is going to put PJ Washington in a bad spot because he has two choices. Is he going to stick with Jericho Sims as he rolls to the basket? Or is he going to stick with Obi Toppin, who we see hovering around the 3-point line? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Are you going to give up an easy 2 or are you going to give up the easy 3? PJ Washington passes off Jericho Sims, and he really doesn't get in position to guard anybody. He lets Jericho Sims get to the basket, and he's still not in any position to defend an Obi Toppin 3. So now we see Jericho Sims wide open in the paint, and there's nobody to stop him for the easy dunk. And me personally, if Mitchell Robinson is retained and we keep Jericho Sims in the second unit, then we should also move Evan Fournier down to the second unit and allow him to use some of his playmaking skills with that unit. That's something I thought the Knicks were going to be able to use him with, or allow him to do with the starters to start this season, but we really didn't see much of it. So if we can move him down to the second unit and allow him to show off some of those skills with Jericho Sims, then I think that would be the best scenario for the New York Knicks moving forward, because then we would retain Mitchell Robinson as a starter, and then we can elevate Immanuel Quickley into that starting role. I was able to find another clip from that Charlotte Hornets game. It'll showcase, once again, Evan Fournier and Jericho Sims operating in the pick and roll. So as the play starts, Evan Fournier has the ball in his hand. Jericho Sims is going to set a screen, somewhat, not really a screen, but he kind of gets in the way of LaMelo Ball as he's defending Alec Burks, who's going to clear out to the other side of the court. Jericho Sims now tries to set a little bit of a screen for Evan Fournier as he starts to drive right. In the previous clip, I showed you the Hornets blitzing the double team, and once again, they do the same thing here. They blitz Evan Fournier as he comes around the screen. Both Terry Rozier and Plumlee stay on Evan Fournier to try to either force him to turn the ball over or to get the ball out of his hands. So we're going to see Jericho Sims now. He starts to roll to the basket. Evan Fournier does a good job finding him on his path to the basket. And you also want to point out that LaMelo Ball, he has his head on a swivel. So he's looking back, trying to stay, aware of what's happening behind him. So he sees everything that's going on, and he leaves Alec Burks to try and stay in the paint and try to stop Jericho Sims from getting an open path to the basket. Now, Jericho Sims, he has a much larger frame than LaMelo Ball. He's able to easily discard him, and we see a nice spin move from Jericho Sims, something we don't really see much of from Mitchell Robinson. So we'll see. Does a nice spin move, discards LaMelo Ball, and has an easy dunk at the basket. And if that's one area I was going to give an edge between, Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims, I would say that Jericho Sims showcases, better footwork and coordination out there on the court. So that's one area I would definitely give Jericho Sims the edge. One major area the Knicks would miss Mitchell Robinson if he were to leave would be offensive rebounding. If you look at the stats for last year, the Knicks were the 4th best team when it comes to offensive rebounding, averaging 11.5 offensive rebounds per game. And Mitchell Robinson was a major part of that. But Jericho Sims has also shown the ability to be a solid offensive rebounder because of his energy, also his athleticism. So we're going to see this play. We're moving ahead to a game against the Toronto Raptors, and in the play, it starts with the ball in Evan Fournier's hands. He's going to drive left, and he's going to use an Obi Toppin screen to get some separation. He gets his separation, and he's going to put up a 3-point shot. Now watch Jericho Sims as this is happening. You're going to see Fournier put the 3-point shot up, and look at Jericho Sims already fighting, battling for that offensive rebound. So he goes to one player, goes to a second player, is able to tip the ball, not to someone else, but he's able to tip the ball to himself out there on the 3-point line, and he gives the ball up to Immanuel Quickley. I like the awareness. He grabs the offensive rebound, gives the ball up to Immanuel Quickley, and sets a screen for Quick so that he can get open for a 3. And by the time the Toronto Raptors are able to try and, get into position to defend, there's no one near Immanuel Quickley, and you see he's able to knock down a 3. these are some of the things I like from Jericho Sims. He doesn't have the length of Mitchell Robinson, but he finds other ways to battle and secure offensive rebounds. So if we do move on from Mitch, it will be a drop off, but I think Jericho Sims has the hustle and athleticism to still be impactful in that area out there on the court. If the Knicks were to lose Mitchell Robinson in free agency, it would definitely be a major blow to the team defensively. You look at what Mitch was able to do last season. He averaged 1.8 blocks per game, which was 6th best in the league. Now, Jericho Sims, if you were to be inserted into the starting lineup, I don't think he'd have the same impact, but he's shown tools and he's shown the ability to be a solid rim protector. He doesn't get the gaudy blocks numbers that you see from a Mitchell Robinson, but the coaching staff has been working with him and his technique so that he can defend, force tough shots, and not get fouls called on him in mass. So we're going to see this play. It's a game against the Miami Heat at the Garden, and the play starts with the ball in Herro's hands. You're going to see Jimmy Butler. He's going to step up to set a screen on Evan Fournier. RJ is now going to step up and try to trap Tyler Herro and get the ball out of his hands, which he does. He passes the ball to Jimmy Butler, but what happens now is Jimmy Butler is well ahead of Evan Fournier, and Evan Fournier does not have the feed to catch up to Jimmy Butler in a race. So now this puts Jericho Sims as the last line of defense. And luckily for us, Jericho Sims, he's aware, sees what's going on, and he knows what's his responsibility. His responsibility is to rotate over and impede Jimmy Butler's path to the basket, which he does perfectly. Jericho Sims, he's going to slide over into the paint and stop Jimmy Butler. Now the issue is, how is he going to be able to stop Jimmy Butler without getting a block and without fouling? Well, he goes straight up. Remains vertical. This is something the coaching staff has been working with him since he was drafted last year. Remains vertical and forces Jimmy Butler to put up a very difficult shot. And he misses, and he's able to grab the rebound. So no, I don't think Jericho Sims is going to get the gaudy block numbers, even though he has the athleticism. But I feel like he has the build and the strength to make life difficult for those trying to attack the basket. Last but not least, I want to look at Jericho Sims and his ability to defend out there on the perimeter. Now, this is increasingly important in an era of basketball where guys are running a lot of pick and roll. You're seeing a lot of switching, and sometimes bigs get caught up on smaller guards. So we're going to see how Jericho Sims performed in this instance when he's guarding Tyler Herro. Once again, another clip from that Miami Heat game at the Garden. We're going to see the ball is in Tyler Herro's hands. He's being guarded initially by Obi Toppin. We see a screen set by Omar, I believe it's Yurt 7. He sets a screen on Obi. Herro, he goes to his left, and now he gets his mismatch. Honestly, the way this play ends up, he would probably be better off sticking with Obi Toppin. But Herro gets his mismatch. He's now being guarded by Jericho Sims, and Jericho Sims does a good job cutting him off as he tries to go left. You see, Jericho Sims does a good job staying in front, staying connected to a Tyler Herro, and not allowing him to get by him and not giving him space to go out there and knock down an uncontested, mid-range jump shot. Another thing we should be looking at, look how far Jericho Sims is able to step away from the basket in order to defend Tyler Herro. He's out there on an island going up against one of the front runners for 6th man of the year. And he's guarding close to 24, 25 feet from the basket. And you can see he's in a position looking to, stay with Tyler Herro. So the play continues to develop. Herro, he was unsuccessful going to his left. So now he's going to try and see if he can get to his right. So comes back towards his left, does a nice little crossover, and now he's going to make one more dribble towards his right and try to take off. Boom. See, he puts his foot down and he tries to go towards his right, but Jericho Sims does a good job staying in front of Tyler Herro. Doesn't allow him to get to his right, and now he's going to have to put up a contested mid-range jump shot. And again, I say Jericho Sims doesn't necessarily get a lot of blocks, but with his athleticism, he's still able to stay in front and force difficult looks for opposing players. So this is a area of Jericho Sims' game that I think is undervalued. The fact that he can go out there and be serviceable guarding smaller guards on the perimeter. So I really want to give a shout out to him for his ability to do this, because he did a great job in this instance guarding Tyler Hero. So let me know what you guys think about Jericho Sims. Do you think he could be potentially a Mitchell Robinson replacement, or do you think he's best served as a backup big off the bench? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Also, make sure you head down to the description and check out BETUS.com. They're sponsoring the video. The link will be down below. You can sign up now, and they're running a 125% promotion. You deposit $100 and they'll give you $125 extra to go out there and make some bets. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Keith, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.